Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into literally the greatest architectural mystery in human history. For 4.5 millennia, humanity has just been staring up at millions of tons of precision-cut stone, endlessly debating how did that actually get there. Well, today we are exploring a totally revolutionary theory that's going to redefine everything we thought we knew about the ancient world. So settle in, because we're about to look at the Great Pyramid of Giza like never before.
So think about the physical reality of this for a second. How exactly do you build a monument of this unprecedented scale? Hauling massive 2-ton blocks of solid limestone hundreds of feet into the thin desert air, with absolutely no iron tools, no pulleys, and no wheels. It's wild. For centuries, this sheer logistical nightmare has completely baffled the greatest experts on Earth. And, when there's a massive glaring gap in our understanding, that void gets filled with wild myths. Over the years, people have proposed everything from ancient aliens with laser beams, to magical acoustic levitation, to the downright bizarre idea that these were giant hollow grain silos built by biblical figures. No way, right? But then, cut to 2003. A mysterious French architect, dressed entirely in black, arrives in New York City. He brings a laptop with a highly advanced 3D computer simulation and an audacious claim that would completely shatter all those wild myths. He proposed a concept so brilliantly simple, yet somehow entirely overlooked by centuries of traditional archaeology. Get this, the ramp used to build the top of the Great Pyramid wasn't on the outside at all, it was on the inside.
Section 1. The Man in Black. Let's meet the visionary behind this incredible breakthrough. So Jean-Pierre Houdin had actually given up his traditional architectural practice. Instead, he spent 5 obsessive years in his Paris apartment meticulously modeling the Great Pyramid brick by brick just to solve this monumental puzzle. Using sophisticated industrial architectural software, he efficiently debunked the leading ideas of the time. First up, the single external ramp theory. Houdin showed that a single ramp would need to be over a mile long just to maintain a gentle enough slope to haul heavy stones. To put that into perspective, if you were building the Empire State Building, that ramp would stretch 25 city blocks straight into Central Park. Plus, there's literally no physical space on the Giza Plateau for a ramp that massive. The second popular theory, an external corkscrew ramp winding around the outside, is equally flawed. Houdin demonstrated mathematically that an external ramp would block the crucial sightlines. The ancient surveyors absolutely needed clear lines of sight to the stars and the base to ensure the pyramid's corners were perfectly straight as they built upward.
Section 2. The immortality business. To understand how we actually get to the inner ramp, we first need to understand the evolution of the Egyptian mind.
To truly appreciate how mathematically sound Houdin's theory is, we have to flash back and look at the intense, driving evolution of Egyptian burials. The true pyramid shape wasn't just invented magically overnight, It wasn't just an ancient king waking up with a great idea. It was a step-by-step architectural evolution spanning hundreds of years. And this rapid advancement was driven entirely by what we can call the business of immortality. The elite of ancient Egypt were literally obsessed with preparing to take their vast wealth, their bodies, and their souls securely with them into the afterlife. It all started out with natural mummies buried in simple desert sand pits. Take a look at this prehistoric man, affectionately nicknamed Ginger. He's currently housed in the British Museum. He was naturally preserved by the intense heat and dry Egyptian sand, and buried simply with his everyday pots and woven reed mats for his journey to the afterlife. But, well, shallow graves have a major flaw. Relentless desert winds blow the sand away, and hungry desert scavengers like jackals were notorious for digging up the dead. So they desperately needed a better way to protect these incredibly important burials. To solve that problem of blowing sand and scavengers, Egyptians began excavating deep, secure shafts straight down into the solid bedrock for the burial itself. Then, above ground, they built these massive, rectangular mud brick chapels over the shafts to seal them tight. Modern Egyptians call them mastabas, which translates to bench in Arabic, because from a distance, they look exactly like giant seating benches rising right out of the sand. Families would gather in these beautifully decorated above-ground rooms to leave food and offerings, while the deceased rested safely and permanently underground.
Section 3. The Pyramid Evolution. Now this is where architecture takes a massive historical leap forward. That dramatic transition from simple mud brick mastabas to towering stone pyramids was spearheaded by a single historical genius, Imhotep. He was the royal architect and trusted vizier to King Zoser. Imhotep is truly the Leonardo da Vinci of ancient Egypt, a physician, an astronomer, and an absolute master builder.
Given unlimited royal funds and massive ambition, he had the bold, unprecedented idea to create the very first significant stone building in human history. The result was the step pyramid of Saqqara. Imhotep essentially stacked increasingly smaller stone mastabas on top of one another, reaching high into the sky. But when you look closely at the construction, you can actually tell they were just learning how to build with heavy stone. They used small 100-pound blocks, basically imitating the mud bricks they were used to. And they had to angle the exterior walls inward to counterbalance the tremendous outward forces so the whole thing wouldn't simply collapse. Crucially though, this very first step pyramid was entirely solid. Aside from the bedrock shaft below, there were absolutely no internal rooms up inside the stone mass itself. From there, the mechanics of pyramid construction rapidly advanced. They evolved from subterranean bedrock burials to Imhotep's solid step pyramid, and finally took on the ultimate engineering challenge: true, smooth-sided pyramids containing complex, open internal burial chambers right up inside the crushing mass of the stone itself.
Now, building a large, hollow room inside a literal mountain of rock is incredibly dangerous. You have thousands of tons of heavy limestone pressing down relentlessly on empty space. But at the medium pyramid, built for King Snefru, engineers brilliantly solved this massive weight problem by inventing the core-build ceiling. Instead of a flat roof that would just snap under the pressure, they overlap the wall blocks slightly inward, level by level. It stretches up kind of like an upside-down staircase until the gap at the very top was just a few inches wide and could be capped safely. This architectural masterstroke allowed the immense, crushing weight from above to be safely redirected outward and downward around the room.
Section 4. The internal ramp theory. Let's bring all of this incredible history right back to the modern day.
So this centuries-long mastery of managing incredible weight and internal open space brings us directly to Jean-Pierre Houdin's elegant solution for the Great Pyramid. Using that advanced 3D modeling, Houdin revealed a stunning likelihood. The ancient builders utilized a hidden internal ramp. Based on his complex calculations, they likely built the bottom third of the pyramid using a smaller, manageable exterior ramp. But for the top two-thirds, they left an open tunnel corkscrewing up the inside of the structure, just a few yards behind the smooth outer face. This internal ramp allowed teams of workers to move those massive 2-ton blocks all the way to the very peak, completely protected from the elements. This elegant theory perfectly connects all the historical dots. It seamlessly accounts for the Giza Plateau's hard spatial limits. There is simply no need for an impossible mile-long ramp stretching out into the desert. Because the ramp is hidden away inside, it leaves the exterior faces totally clear. That means the ancient surveyors could constantly sight exact straight lines up to the stars to ensure utter perfection. And most importantly, it isn't some alien concept. It directly leverages the Egyptians' proven mastery of internal architectural mechanics. It utilizes the exact same deep cultural understanding of weight distribution that gave us the core-belt ceilings at Meidum.
Section 5. Validation from the master. Because, a beautiful digital computer model is one thing, but to rewrite history, it needs real-world backing. An unknown French architect's simulation absolutely needed validation from the highest echelons of Egyptology to be taken seriously. So, in a high-stakes, secret meeting, hidden away behind an unmarked door at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, Houdin presented his life's work to Dieter Arnold. Now, Arnold is widely considered the world's foremost authority on ancient pyramid building. The room was tense. The only sound was the quiet hum of Houdin's laptop as Arnold intently reviewed the complex 3D models, watching the digital blocks slide up the hidden internal ramp. The silence stretched on. Finally, Arnold's response was understated but incredibly powerful. A simple, affirming, yeah. Just like that, the theory was no longer just a digital dream. In that very room, Dieter Arnold revealed a staggering twist. During his own physical pyramid excavations back in the 1980s, his team had actually found physical evidence on the pyramid itself. They had recorded unexplained physical traces, strange anomalies, and specific angles in the exterior stone layering that perfectly matched the exact slope and placement of Houdin's hidden internal ramp. I mean, they had the physical proof decades ago. They just hadn't known what to make of it at the time.
Which leaves us right here, on the very cutting edge of history. As modern, non-invasive technologies like muon radiography and thermal imaging continue to probe the remaining solid mass of the Great Pyramid, looking for voids and hidden passages, we're left with one lingering, totally thrilling question. Will someone in our lifetime finally step inside that structure, turn on a flashlight and take a walk up that hidden 4,500-year-old internal ramp. Thank you for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.